free will. You see what I mean? Your action is automatic, and most everybody acts that way. Most all people act according to the dictates of their environment. That is, they react to the environment from the latent impulses within. And those impulses are set up from following sensation, thoughts, and memory thoughts. And so your action in ordinary free will is an automatic action dictated not by you at all, not by you at all, but by environment, latent impulses, and tendencies, and habits. And these have all been done before, so that is not free will. True free will, that's automatic or ordinary free will. Now, as I have said, you didn't decide what you were going to do at all, but it was decided for you in a very subtle way. You didn't know anything about it. Up came these impulses. You need that cake, and you can't resist while you're in that state of lower consciousness. Now, ordinarily, we live, as I said a few moments ago in the Bible reading, in the three lower centers of the spine. That's where the reactions take place. That is, you feel, not with your fingers, but you feel in the inner part of you. You taste inside. And you hear in the spiritual part of you within. That's known. So, most of us live in the three lower centers of the spine, in that consciousness. And that's more or less automatic. So that as long as we are in that, we are acting automatically according to the law of cause and effect karma. We keep laying up these new impulses. And as long as you stay there, you're in delusion. And as long as you go by that bakery window and you succumb to those latent impulses within you, you lay up more. You understand? How are we ever going to get through with it? That's a very important thing. It's like the snowball. As you roll it along, you don't have snow here. But back east we have snow, see? I shouldn't have brought that up. This is California. But nevertheless, just now that I've started, you roll the snowball and it picks up snow. So, as we live in this automatic consciousness, being subject to the latent impulses within us and habits reacting to our environment, we keep adding new latent impulses. So it's very difficult to get out of the delusion of duality of consciousness. That's why it says in the Gita, of 1,000 who hears, one follows. And of 1,000 of those that follow, one gets it. One gets freedom. Because of this automatic action of laying up new impulses, new habits, by following desire. So you must be careful. And remember that if you want to exercise true free will, it must not be an automatic action. We must not be automatons, following the dictates of habits, emotions, latent impulses within us. So that brings us to the next subject, is true free will. True free will. Now, if you lift your consciousness, as we try to do in these meetings, from the three lower centers of the spine, which are concerned with ordinary worldly activity, there's nothing mystical about it. If you lift your consciousness from activity there into the higher centers of the spine, then, instead of you being subject to the latent impulses within you and habits reacting on your environment, then you bring in a different consciousness altogether. You act from the higher consciousness or soul consciousness. And it is not automatic action. You understand? It is independent action. So every time you do a good thing, every time you go by that window, and you lift your consciousness up and reason from wisdom's side and pass by, that's independent action. And when you do that, you're using true free will. Because you are not subject to the dictates of worldly consciousness laid up by following sensation thoughts and memory thoughts, but you're following the dictates of your soul consciousness. Now that's independent action. When you do that, that is true free will. And that leads to true freedom. When you follow automatic action, there's no freedom. It never comes because you lay up more impulses They keep you down on that level. But when you lift your consciousness and react from soul consciousness, do independent action, not automatic action. You'll do real, constructive, independent action from the higher vantage point of soul consciousness. That's true free will, and with that you progress. You do not progress by following automatic action. Those of you who know that, you know, those of you who play the piano or a musical instrument, if you play automatically, you play automatically. But until you make the definite effort to do some constructive practicing with independent action, you don't progress. And so it is with true free will. True free will comes by following the dictates of higher soul consciousness, acting independently, not automatically, by following habits, impulses, and environment. So just to briefly go over ordinary free will and true free will, remember that ordinary free will is automatic in action and is the result not of independent action, but the suggestions, the impulses given from your subconsciousness to your waking state of consciousness from latent impulses, habit, and those tendencies which you have laid up, some of them long, long ago. That is not true free will. While that's ordinary automatic free will. While true free will is independent action, not influenced by these latent impulses, habits, moods, emotions, and so forth, but influenced by the wisdom of the soul. Now that's the important thing to remember. And every time you meditate, especially when you come home tired, you say, well, I've had a hard day, I guess the Lord will excuse me tonight. No, but if you sit up in spite of your tiredness, that's real independent action and you progress. That's real, true free will, and by doing that, you not only exercise true free will, you gain true freedom. By following your impulses, environment, and habits, you do not gain freedom. Don't you see? You don't. You think, I'm going to buy that cake today because I want to buy it. That isn't free will. The impulse is within you. If you want to buy that cake to give to some sick person, that's another thing. But when you follow the impulses within you and say, I'm going to do just as I please today, but you're not. You're going to follow those little impulses that are coming up and suggesting to you, you ought to have that cake.